What's up, everybody? What's up, people? Welcome to the sideline to baseline with MB and Klew, and we got a missing host in the building. MB, man down, 10:32. Man down. No, MB doing all right. He had to step out and handle some things tonight, but y'all seeing he back in the building. None other than Pike Jam. What's going on?
Right. Hey man, you know what it is, man. It's good to be here with you guys on Sideline, Baseline, man, on a Friday. Absolutely. What better place to be than right here with Sideline and Baseline, giving the folks the unadulterated truth and the real, because I'm the realest co-host in the game.
There it is. There it is. Double A, what's up, baby? We see you. We see you out here in these streets. You first up, baby. So we're going to get right into it, man. A lot of Deshaun Watson talk, but we're going to talk about, obviously, I'm sure you guys know they hired David Klew. And for some strange reason, I saw some information by David Klew right now. Hey, damn, David think Deshaun his quarterback, man.
Well, it's once again, this is what happens when, I have to quote Obama on this when he was running for president during the time he was going up against Mitt Romney, and he told Mitt, he said, "You are completely out of touch."
Right.
And David Klew is out of touch. He's out of touch what's going on because it's official. The guy Deshaun Watson agent has said, not only does he not want to be in Houston, he's not talking to David Klew, the ownership, GM, or assistant GM. He wants out. His words is, here's my list of teams, no more talking.
So, Pac Jam, man, let's do a little bit of revisionist history.
Absolutely.
Since you've been on the show, but I think it might have been the last time or the time before you were last on the show, you spoke, you got a little prophetic nature about yourself, man. You got a little prophecy in you, evidently, man. Because, I think Double A, I think MB, and some other people was calling you a conspiracy theorist, man. You around here, say the election rigged around here, man. Dominion voting systems down, man. Dominion cheating. You around there with a conspiracy. That's what they said.
Right.
You broke here first, Deshaun.
Right.
Out of there.
Yes.
As soon as when the GM said, when the GM was picked and the owner had told him he was gonna help choose the GM, he didn't do that. You came on and you said, listen, he's gone and he should be out of there. You said it right then. Now,
yes, I did.
We're about a month, after or 3 weeks after, and look where we are, Pac Jam. What did you see then? And let's talk about, I know who you are and who you work with, so you ain't got to divulge your sources, but talk to us how you knew back then before anybody.
Well, I knew back then once he was lied to, knowing Deshaun Watson and what Deshaun Watson represent and where he was from, I knew that he's a guy raised in the South, a guy that's he's about value. He's about, morale. He's about all those things, And when he was lied to, I knew he was out of there. And I tried to give that story to the guys here on the show, and guys like Double A, guys like Mike MB was telling me that I was a conspiracy theorist, that I've been reading the Inquirer too much and things of that nature, but I knew he was out of there. And I just tried to give that truth to you guys on this show, tried to break that story, but apparently some people only want to listen to the ESPN and whatever Stephen A. say or whatever Matt Kellerman say.
I think they down your pedigree, right?
I don't know why they down my pedigree, but again, as they continue to follow us on this great show called Sideline to Baseline with MB and Klew, they will begin to understand that Pac is in the know. That Pac Jam is in the know when it comes to this sports tip.
Right.
Okay. They would know. Right. And as I told you before, Deshaun gave him a list. Number one on his list is the New York Jets, and he has not. And that's another thing. He's not coming off of that. He wants to go play for the Jets.
Oh man, so you know them Jets fans going crazy. After you
Absolutely.
spend some time in that area. Hey, listen, win, lose, or draw, baby. Hey, next year, boy, they gonna be the champs round there. So I know they are excited. Now, let's talk about specifically Deshaun Watson. He wants out. And obviously you named the Jets as being a potential, front runner. But
Mm-hmm.
Pat Jam, what are some possible trade destinations that aren't, the Jets that you could see him flourishing in?
Actually, it's 25. It's 32 teams in the NFL, and it's only two quarterbacks that arguably you would say that may be ahead of Deshaun Watson, and that would be Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
So that's 30 teams that can use his services. Okay, so 30 teams need to be picking up the phone and saying, "Listen, what you guys want to do?" Because right now, if I was Cleveland, I would send Baker Mayfield and Landry to Houston right now. I would send Baker Mayfield and Landry to Houston right now with a first round pick for Deshaun Watson to come up there with those guys up there.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
Okay. If I mean, from New England, you need to get involved into this sweepstakes.
Okay.
You know, all the way over to San Fran, you need to get involved in sweepstakes. Pittsburgh Steelers, you need to get involved in this sweepstakes. This is one of those things that, to me, the Deshaun Watson situation to the NFL right now is what LeBron James was to the NBA in 2016. Well, no, not 16, but 2013. In 2013, it's the same thing. You got a generational talent saying my services are available. The NFL has
no. LeBron never said that.
Well, he was a free agent though.
Yeah,
but he still was available.
Yeah, this is a little bit different.
No, but what I mean is It's what I'm saying is the talent level, the talent to both leagues. Okay. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
This is earth shattering. A 25-year-old generational talent quarterback, not a running back, not a wide receiver, not a safety, but a generational talented quarterback who can shape your franchise and take you somewhere where your franchise has never been with the right pieces around it. And this guy we're talking about led the league in receiving yards. And the reason, and what I want to dive into right quick, Kevin, not taking too much time on this subject, but this guy, out of 480 defenses in the NFL since 2006, the Houston Texans ranked defense was 478. So that tells you how bad of a defense that was. Do you know Watts? Do you know Watts apologized? JT Watt apologized to this guy. JJ Watts apologized and said, "Man, I'm sorry." He had literally apologized to Deshaun Watson for the defense being so trash.
Right.
Everybody need to get involved in this thing, not just San Fran. Everybody need to be involved in this, trying to get this guy. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones, pick up the phone. Right. He's already under contract. He has a team-friendly deal.
Right.
His contract is not huge.
I think as far as next year, he only counts $14.5 million towards the cap.
And guess what?
Right.
Big Ben accounts for $45 million of the cap in Pittsburgh. Go figure.
Wow. But yeah, so you got Deshaun, and I'm gonna throw out there. I think the no-brainer, and that can get a 1-for-1 out there, is if Jacksonville Jaguars trade their number 1 overall pick for Deshaun Watson. I think, to me, that's a no-brainer, especially for Urban Meyer wanting to come on, wanting to make a big splash. This is a guy that has put an entire team on his back and carried them. With Jam telling y'all what the defensive record was in Houston. So this is a guy that can get you started, get you going. I think it's a no-brainer for Urban. I just think, like I told MB a few weeks ago, I said I think the pressures of picking the number 1, whom everybody is saying should be the number 1, and they're calling him, Trevor Lawrence, a generational talent. They're calling him a can't miss. And, I don't deal in what I ain't seen can't misses. I deal in what I can see can't misses, and that's can't misses Deshaun Watson, who's already taking the bumps and the bruises, knows how to win, and knows how to win without a lot of talent. Where Trevor Lawrence is going to have to do the same thing by himself for at least 3 years until they can build something around him. So I think that, to me, that's the easiest 1-for-1 swap. I think Houston would take the 1-for-1 and keep it moving, and I think that'd be a layup, man, for Urban.
Absolutely. So So what we will find out in this is we will really find out how much control Urban Meyer really has. Because one of the things that I like to touch on right quickly is, remember, Sean, what's his name, the owner for the Jaguars?
Yeah, Khan.
Right. Said that he wants to have say in personnel.
Yeah, that's insane. So he been hanging around Jerry too long, man. They've been Skyping. Him and Jerry been Skyping and Zoom calling, and Jerry just done took him under his wing. What it sounded like to me.
Exactly.
Well, look, moving right along, staying in that same vein, let's talk about another quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, man. I told MB just a week ago when we were on the show, I said, not a week ago, Monday, I told him, I said, listen, if I'm the front office, I'm trying to sign Aaron Rodgers long term, right? So that he knows we're committed to him, and let him know we're also committed to building some more talent around him, or I'm putting him on the trading block today and trying to see what can I get for him. And it looks like, Aaron Rodgers took my advice and he delivered that message to them. Basically, he said, extend me long term or get rid of me. So it's hilarious to me. And I'm going to make this statement, Pat. I want you to go and take it and run with it. I don't think that, the old guard, and when I say old guard, I'm talking about the front office persons. They do not understand these guys anymore. So they're behind the 8 ball when they're trying to make these moves. They're making the moves a year, 2, 3 too late, or a few days too late. And that's what the problem is now. Now they find themselves in these situations that are out of control, and they're just hoping and wishing to put packages together to make themselves sleep better at night after they lose the talent.
Well, I think what happens is, again, I hate using that word out of touch again, but we're dealing with a new athlete, the culture of the new athlete. There's a different culture of athlete that we're seeing that's evolving, that's on the field, that's off the field, that's in branding, that's in business, that's in contracts. These guys are now realizing it, and for the longest, it was about just go out and play. Now guys are saying, hold it. Especially guys who are uberly talented. They're saying, no, I'm not going to go out here and play with anything. Not only do I want to be compensated well, I want the right things around me when I step on this field or step on this court. Right. And so that's what's happening. Guys are taking their career more into their hands. They're taking their career out of the hand of the front offices, out of the hands of their agent, and they're saying, guess what? I'm going to control the narrative on my career. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing.
And they're just hoping and wishing to put packages together to make themselves sleep better at night after they lose. Oh, my bad, Pike.
Okay, so that's what we're seeing. And so Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, look here. Before I get back on that field, before I go back to Lambeau, because apparently I'm going to tell you something. The reason why Rodgers high on this, you're going to compensate me on this contract, because Rodgers has 2 years left on this deal at 38 for next season and then 40 for the following season.
Right.
But what he's seeing is he realizes 3 offensive linemen, starting with his center, is a free agent. 2 receivers a free agent, and both running backs. The first thing, so what Rodgers saying is, I don't believe you're going to resign all these guys.
Right.
So if that's the case, if I'm going to take the field, and just 2 years ago I had a broken clavicle playing behind a bad offensive line, guess what's going to happen? You're going to compensate me.
Right.
Just in case I break my clavicle again, because I got Khalil Mack I got to see twice a year.
Right. Absolutely.
And if you're not going to compensate me, then guess what? I need to go because I look like I ain't gonna have no furniture in front of me blocking for me.
Right. I I still wanna. I really want to stay on the vein though, Pac Jam, of this new athlete you're speaking of, and I think that we're going to see way more moves that are happening both in the NFL, especially, and then in the NBA. They're even getting even more bolder. And I think these owners have to start putting people in the organizations like World Be Free in New York with the Knicks, putting guys in there that not only can sit out, that understand the new vibe of these guys, understand the
Right.
new flow of these guys, and understanding that it's more than just football now, and they're still approaching it like, oh, he's thinking about his pocket, his wallet, his family, and securing the future. No, these guys are thinking brand. Oh, their brand and understanding that value placement is huge. So, look, Deshaun wants to go to New York specifically. So obviously, Pat didn't mention when he was talking about possible destinations, but obviously New York Jets, and guess who else? The New York Giants are in that mix automatically because he's thinking branding, he's thinking market. Look, if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna do this and still be on the front of y'all TV screen. I'm gonna still be on the cover of Madden. See, that stuff matters. Look at OBJ, for instance. Yes, granted, he's been hurt for 2 years, right? He's been hurt for 2 years. But what's hurt him more? Being in Cleveland has hurt him more than even being hurt for 2 years. It's not the same. Guys understand that, and they're making decisions a lot of times based on that, and then based on how are you moving, in this organization, and how much control do I possess in this organization? Do I have a say? Do I have a word? Look, immediately after Deshaun, we were told Deshaun had a say, he had a word. What Russ say over in Seattle? Hey, I'm helping pick this OC. Now, Russ, you did a terrible job if you did.
Right.
You brought in a guy that didn't do as good as y'all did passing the ball.
Right.
So I don't know if that was a great hire. However, he feels good. He's not trying to go anywhere because he feels like Seattle is family. He feels like they include him on decision making. He feels like they think of him as, listen, you're not just our quarterback, but you're our confidant as well. So he ain't trying to go anywhere. You won't hear the side of him. You got to understand that when you have a generational talent like Deshaun Watson, you got to understand that when you're in Green Bay and you were Aaron Rodgers and you got him speaking up now, that's a problem. The fact that he's even talking about leaving you.
And that's what happens when you hire a lot of these general managers who are old and outdated. And I hate using that word old and outdated, but it is what it is. You got a lot of general managers in the NFL, 65, 70 years old, they've been around the league 40 years, bouncing from team to team, and they've been in it, and they've been partners with the friends with the owner's son, and all these things. But these guys are so far from the reality of the culture of the new athlete.
Right.
And so now, even to the point, you even have people on TV trying to on the networks trying to defend these organizations against these players, because of, not because the player is wrong, but because the ties that they have with these general managers who's been around, before dinosaur. I would say these dinosaur general managers. You know what I mean? Like starting with up there in New York with the Giants. Right. That's a dinosaur in the front office. Right. That's the old guard. And every acquisition he's doing showing you that he's completely out of touch with today's athlete.
I mean, let's even think about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. We still don't know about that investigation. Has it been finished? But a third party allegedly got involved to grab Kawhi and bring him on board. That's what's needed because he don't. And the crazy part is, Why do that? Why not have a guy in the front office? If he's capable of making moves like that, that ain't the only move he's capable of making.
Right. Because it's alleged, it's alleged that Jerry West took him out to dinner.
Right. Right.
He didn't take Kawhi out to dinner. He took the third party guy who had the rapport with Kawhi. He took him out to dinner
Right.
to talk to him about getting Kawhi on board. So you're right. It's because that guy is the one that's, like you said, piggybacking off what you said, that guy's the one that has a rapport with today's athletes that know what they think, know what they like, and what have you.
Right.
Even to the point, if I'm an organization, because remember, one thing the baseball did, you know what? Shout out to baseball right now. Shout out to Major League Baseball, because Major League Baseball got it right. And you know why I say they got it right first? Major League Baseball went out hiring a lot of agents,
right,
and general managers, and everybody was like, "What are they doing? What are they doing? They're crazy." But they knew what they was doing. These agents have a rapport with these guys. Not only that, they know what these guys like. They know what these guys are into.
Right.
And that's what, and as you saw, and what happened when Major League Baseball did that? You saw teams that historically wasn't winning franchises became winning franchises. You saw teams like the Houston Astros. People said, where they came from? They came from their winning change their front office.
Pac Jam, it's plain and simple. They can sit down and have a conversation with these guys. These front office personnel can't even talk to them. Can't even talk to them. Just think of, every time we turn around, what are we hearing coming out of the combine, coming out of different meetings with guys? Man, they ask me this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You believe they'll ask you this kind of stuff? And it's like, because you have no clue. You're not around that element. You're not around these young guys. You're not around the culture and the vibe of the new athlete. You're not on social media at all. You got people doing social media for you. That's why Mark Cuban, I'm surprised, honestly, that Mark Cuban isn't able to do more work in free agency than he does, because he's one of those guys that could actually go into his front office and actually put in work as far as drawing guys, because he speaks their language. He stays in the social media. He's chatting. He's commenting. He knows what's going on in the social arena. And that's why his guys, you rarely see any guys trying to get out of Dallas. You just rarely see it.
But you don't see guys trying to go to Dallas.
And that's why I said I'm surprised about that.
Right.
That's what I started off. I'm surprised that's not.
So what you think is the Dallas area? Is it something about the Dallas area that is the reason why you can't lure guys there, you believe?
Well, I think at one point it's Dirk, because he was the face of the franchise. And I think guys were afraid to come in and compete with him. Time that ship sails, guess what? They come in and they got another monster. So it's one of those situations. Like, can you come there and be willing to be second, third, or fourth option? So that's the type of guy you're looking for. And I think maybe they set their sights too high. You know what I mean? When they think they can get a co-guy, and a co-guy's not gonna come to Dallas. I don't think right now their number one and number two is as respected around the league that they would come in and play second string or second fiddle to guys like that. So moving right along, man, I wanted to Pac Jam and I have had conversations like this in the past, but this morning we were discussing a little bit, and I said, man, hopefully we can bring it back to you the way it fell on the phone this morning. But the conversation of AAU, because we done transition right there to basketball, and guess what? All these guys that we're talking about that become superstars, all of them ride through this entity that's called AAU. It's a big organization. Everybody knows it that's involved with basketball. It's who's who. Now all of a sudden, and not now all of a sudden, but back when I think Lamar Odom, was it Lamar? Or was it Thomas? One of them two is who kind of catapulted this sneaker thing, investing in amateur athletics from a basketball standpoint. And really, it took flight from that point,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gotten more and more crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Louisville, ask Arizona, ask who I'm missing, Auburn, was it?
Right.
And a couple other teams about it. And it's where these sneaker companies, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, get involved and sponsoring these tournaments, sponsoring these individual teams, which really is sponsoring these individual players, is what it really boils down to. So, Bang Jam, I think we were discussing, AAU, and my first question is, what should parents do? And I know everybody like, what? What do you mean? What they should do? What I mean is, who should you play for? Who should you, while you're playing for them, should you play in all 95 tournaments year round that they have? Because they already playing right now, by the way, y'all. And high school basketball ain't even over. Playoffs ain't even started, and they already rolling. So, and then they go all the way back around the clock until high school basketball starts again. So, Pac Jam, talk to us about, all these tournaments. Just in the summer alone, teams may play in the upwards of 20 tournaments or more during the summer. Should they be doing that?
Well, I don't agree with all these 25, 30 tournaments a year, even 20 tournaments. I don't agree with the number of tournaments these kids are playing in. Howbeit, I do believe that I think that these kids should play in, and because my thing is this: you have different classes, because when you the tournaments, you have different classifications. You have what they call the D1, D2, D3. A lot of the tournaments break it down as far as the talent level of kids that's on these teams. But with that being said, when it comes to an organization, the choice, I believe parents need to make the conscious decision to join the AAU program that's about developing the kid.
Mm.
Because we run and take our kids to where we feel that's the big brand. Like we know here in Orlando, the big brand is E1T1, and so everybody wants to play for E1T1 because that's the big time. E1T1 started by Stoudemire, whatnot, now being led by Reese.
Right.
So a lot of kids want to run the E1T1 because of the brand. But at the end of the day, I think what needs to happen is I think parents need to start making the conscious decision, as I said earlier, about which program is going to help develop my child for the development of the kid. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of these kids are playing so many years for organizations in this AAU, and two things I see: the kid body is shot and the kid is not developed.
Right.
So you ask yourself, you've given all this time in AAU, and you played in all these tournaments, and your body's broke down, and the kid's not even developed.
Right.
And to me, that's an indictment on two people. One, it's an indictment on the organization, and an indictment on the parent for sending your child to play for somewhere that's not going to develop your kid.
But I'm going to argue AAU isn't for developing anymore. Once upon a time, I really think it was. But right now, you're not practicing the same. You got kids on your team that are, you might have 5 from here and the other 7 from 7 different states. So it's just we're showing up and we playing a pickup game. We playing pickup basketball.
But that's why I differ at. I differ at because I know of AAU organizations, AAU teams where that coach does a great job in developing his kids. He works out with his kids away from the game. He does a great job working out with his kids.
Frank, baby.
What's up, man? Frank, man. Hey, man, we got Frankie on here, man.
Frank Weezy.
Hey, Frank, I need some of them winning hoodies you got, man. I know about your clothing line you just started called Winning, man. I need some of them now. I need some of that gift, Frank. I'll let your boy.
Hey,
I'll let your boy.
Hit his DM. He'll mess with you.
I'm gonna get in your DM later on, Frank, on that deal.
Easy, baby.
Represent Bama strong, baby.
All right, Willie Anderson, man, big time coach around these parts, both high school and AAU. He points out that travel ball is for exposure. So I agree, and I mean that's what's being done. But Willie, you will admit when Coach Jackson, Coach Graham, when they was coaching us, it was about teaching. It was about
Right.
developing. It
Right.
wasn't, and through that, then once they teach you, they groom you, then they put you in positions for exposure. But
Right.
we went out there prepared. It wasn't a situation that it's just like, let's get out there and let's go. Right, Jam?
Again, as you couldn't have said any better, because Willie, for example, Willie was a kid. Willie was a young man that was developed. He was developed by Arthur Jackson. He was developed the right way. Okay, and so it's amazing that knowing the way Willie Anderson was brought up, aka Boo Magic, was brought up by Willie Jackson the right, Arthur Jackson the right way in development to get his game at such a level where he not only had achieved great things in high school, but he went on to play D1 basketball at LSU. So my thing is, when we know this, how can we not currently stick to that recipe that got me where I was at, regardless of what everybody is doing around me? And that's the thing that I don't understand with so many AAU coaches, so many AAU guys who are training kids, and so many AAU guys who are directors. If you know the way you made it was through development and guys taught you and they did a lot of teaching, how can you now go with the fast food restaurant when you knew you was raised on a cooked meal?
But what? That's easy, Pac Jam. That's easy. That's because they're bringing them to you to get them in school. And so Willie hit the nail on the head when he said it's about exposure. So then you take that kid and you put him in front of those names, those teams that he wants to be able to play for, and then it's on them. But that's what it's come to now.
Okay, my question to you is this, Kevin.
Hold on. They come to you ready to just jump ball. They got their trainers, baby. They got
But Kevin, my question is to you. This is my question to you. When me and you just went, when you and I had just went and saw a 13-year-old AAU game, how many of those kids we saw that was to be exposed, that needed exposure? I'm waiting.
Not one.
So my question to you is, the conversation on the way home after we watched that 13 AAU game was, they're not developing these kids.
Right.
So that's where, listen, we have to understand something. I can't expose you if you ain't ready to be exposed.
Right. Right.
Okay? Regardless of what your mom and them saying, your dad them saying, these kids have to learn how to play the game.
Hey, look, I hear that.
We saw a kid do the James Harden step back and couldn't even dribble the half court.
Hey man, look, man. I with Willie, man. Listen, I need to have my own YouTube TV show, baby. You know what I mean? Home team hoops coming to holler at me. That's what I'm about. I'm just trying to dunk on somebody. I get a dunk on film and get a bunch of y'all to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I got me some. Hey, the story now is who your trainer is, baby. Who you working out with? Oh,
listen, we went to a high school game. Matter of fact, you went to a high school game. And two things we didn't even see that you don't even have to buy. That's not even on YouTube. Attitude and effort.
Man, listen. I think them words are foreign now. Hey, listen. That effort thing is foreign now. You got to go effort now.
Could you put up?
What I'm seeing on the basketball floor is atrocious. Like guys are jogging up and down the floor. Guys ain't jumping on the ground. Guys ain't pushing and shoving for extra rebounds. They standing watching, standing looking. They get a turnover to do. I remember, man. Listen, you turn the ball over for a coach.
You better be the first one down there.
Hey, look, you
You
turn.
better be the first one down there.
Yeah, you better go run him down. Nah, he the dude that got ripped, the last one down there, and
Right.
then had the nerve to clap his hand and give him back the ball. See, that's just not on coaches, right? That's again on his teammate, because I guarantee he wouldn't get the rock from me. Not after you just got it ripped and you jogged down. No, I'm finna get subbed out because coach, I ain't throwing him the ball. He not about to not care that much that I got to run past him
Right.
on his turnover. No, not
Could
me.
you put that Chris Paul? Is that way you can put that Chris Paul up there?
Yeah,
That article I
I'll
read.
work on that, but go ahead.
Because I want to dive in on that
Yeah, I'll work on it, but go ahead and speak.
because I feel and that's another and it ties in with today's it ties in with this AU thing because it's like we want to try to develop our kid after someone who his size is nowhere near.
Uh-huh.
Why am I using LeBron James or Tracy McGrady or Kevin Durant, but my child is only 5'7", and as his dad I'm only 5'10"?
Right. Right.
The dad's 5'10", the mom's 5'7", the child's 5'6", but I'm trying to pattern his game after Kevin Durant.
Right.
I'm trying to pattern his game after 6'6" James Harden.
Right.
Like in the reality of developing these kids and training and working out with these kids, we're not even using the right thing. We're not even using, I shall say, the right example.
All right, there it is. On Pac's page, man, he wrote, in a game of giants, it could be.
Can you blow it up?
I tried.
Okay.
I can't. Yeah, that's as big as I. In a game of giants, it can be said that the most dangerous man in the NBA is 5'10", born Christopher Emmanuel Paul, aka CP3. If Chris Paul was a dog, he'll be a cane corso, not because of his size, but because of his tenacious attitude. He defies all physical odds of the current NBA. This is living proof what attitude and effort can do for an athlete. Side note, Chris Paul is the 5th richest NBA player of all time with over $260 million in career earnings. You got some more you want? A 15-year NBA career, still listed as one of the top point guards in the league. Just a friendly reminder to you sports fans, AAU coaches, high school coaches, trainers, and parents. Carry on. The realest co-host in sports. There you go, Pat.
Right. Now, you just read something about a guy that's 5'10", and everybody know Chris Paul. Okay. And you just seen and you read some of his accolades. And we talked about and I said in that article, I said if he was a dog, he'd be a cane corso, not because of his size, but because of his tenacious attitude. So at the end of the day, to me, why not introduce this to these kids? Why not introduce this example? Because most kids is around this height. Steph Curry is 6'3". Chris Paul is 5'10". But Chris Paul brings what? Attitude and effort every single night when he played. Kobe called Chris Paul a bulldog.
Right.
And it's why Kobe wanted him so bad to be a Laker. But the NBA stepped in unprecedented. The NBA stepped in and said, we can't let this happen. But at the end of the day, we got to understand something. I think we're doing these kids a disservice as trainers and as AAU coaches and trying to teach these kids of examples of guys whose size they don't even match.
Jump in there, Cole Willie. Cole Anderson. We got Willie Anderson here.
Welcome aboard, Coach Willie Anderson.
Great. And he's now he's been coaching. Willie, you at 29, huh? You at about 29, I think, and definitely he's been coaching high school and AAU. Willie, jump in there. You hear us?
Can you hear us, Willie? I think he's still trying to get it set up where he can hear us.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the day, like I said, man, it's I think we need to look back, man, on how we going about this thing, man, with this AAU, you know, for the development of these kids. Because as you said the other day, as you attend the games and I attend games, we see kids still can't even dribble the basketball. But you're doing a step back jumper, you're doing a turnaround jumper, and you can't even dribble. So, and you talk to the kid, and the kid is telling you, I want to play basketball for Duke. Really? You know what I mean? His mom and dad saying he's getting ready. He gonna be going to the league. How?
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think we got to get back into reality, man. We got to get out this Harry Potter syndrome, man, to get back to reality, man, and develop these kids. You know what I mean? We really do. We really do, man. It's right. And that's the thing, you know. And as far as this AAU tournaments, the 25, 30 tournaments, 20 tournaments, we're breaking their bodies down. Wear and tear.
Will it jump in?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talking about AAU, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The problem with AAU is everybody got a trainer. Everybody got a trainer, and the expectation from the parents is so high, and the parents are so influenced by social media because everybody is chasing rankings right now.
Okay.
They're chasing rankings, and you know, it's like Pat Jam said, everybody wants to play on each one, teach one, but your skill set is not at that level.
Right.
You know, they want to play on. You know, you get some quality kids that'll come to, let's say, an organization like Q6, the organization I run myself and Josh Beard.
Right.
We'll get a quality kid, come to our tryout. We'll like the kid and commit to the kid. A week later, a kid will go to an Each One Teach One or a CP25 workout and think like they're ready for those guys, and they're not at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't play on the EYBL. Those guys play by NBA rules. Those dudes are grown men out there.
Right.
And you can really get exposed on that circuit, like, and they make you feel like you want to quit and play another sport. You know, that's what people fail to realize. Like, that EYBL, those guys are playing by NBA rules. There's a shot clock. It ain't no stall ball. Like, it's a real men's sport out there. If you look at those rosters, you're looking at 6'8" point guards, 6'8" two guards. It's real deal out there. You let legit 7-footers when you run into these guys.
Wow.
And you look at high school hoops around here, a 6'4" guy is considered a center.
You're right. Right.
You know, so it's just, I think right now the younger parents and the student athletes are so caught up in the social media and rankings and watching. They're watching other guys and they're not working on their own craft. They're too busy watching.
How important is it?
Say again?
How important is ranking?
How important is rankings?
I don't think it's important because, and since I've been program director since 2011, we've helped place 140-something kids.
Wow.
So, and that's without any contract or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just straight grinding, like we learned from guys like Arthur Jackson and stuff like that, Earl Graham, you know, Scott Sanders, guys that just kind of paved the way for us locally, you know, and we had guys like Coach Dexter Williams and Ed Water, who was a mentor for a lot of us. You know, guys like that. It was more father figures back in the day when we played.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to say something. When you was growing up with us, you played outside court. You played pickup games everywhere. Why kids ain't playing the pickup games like you played it?
Because you remember back in the day, it was so hard for us to get in the gym. They always tried to charge us $5 to get in for a day.
Right.
They wanted us to get for a membership.
Right.
Now the kids get free access to the gym and everything. They get open gyms and all that stuff. It was rare when we had that kind of stuff.
But what did the outside courts? What those you going outside playing the Lake Lauderdale, you playing on Carter Street? What did that do for your game that these kids need in their game?
When we played outside, when you went to Callahan Park, you went to Lake Leonardune, you went to the Smith Center, you went to Barnett Park. When you went to those places, those old dudes gonna put you on your ass.
There it is.
There it is.
Like, but they're gonna coach you and teach you at the same time.
Right.
And it was one of those things like those older guys were going to teach you until they stepped to the side. Like, they wouldn't let no young kid come take over. They weren't talking about you next up. No, you're gonna wait your turn till I'm done.
Right.
And that's why we had the traditional old school versus new school at Callahan, where the old school guys, they beat up on us so much, and then as we got older, we started figuring out, okay, we can get a win or two, but it was because they kind of aged out a little bit.
Right.
It wasn't because we had a higher IQ or we were better than those guys. They just kind of aged out a little bit. That's why we were able to creep some wins in here and there.
But how much did that help your game as you went to high school and went on to the next level? You playing against those older guys.
It was major because I was more mature because I played with older guys. But those older guys taught us how to play.
Right.
Like, if you went to Callahan Park and you played with Jimmy Dean, Bird, John Bennett, and those guys weren't using 20 dribbles to get a shot, step back, and all that. Some dudes pass, cut, screen. They playing old school basketball, like fundamental basketball.
Right.
That was rare that you saw a guy dribble the ball as much as James Harden and stuff like that. We didn't see that. That didn't happen when we grew up, when we played. That was called ball hogging when we played.
Right.
Right. I honestly can't remember any guy growing up who did that kind of stuff when we played. Like, you would never play at Callahan Park in a downtown rig if you dribbled that much like James Harden.
Right. Do you as a basketball director do you as a basketball director, do you encourage kids to go play in pickup games?
Yes, but here's the problem.
Is very few gyms, like the best run high school kids are probably going to get is at the Smith Center when they play. When Scott would host the little high school stuff, that was probably the best high school kids can get because it was kids from various high schools.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very competitive. That was probably the best run high school kids will get. As far as outside, it ain't a whole lot of that going on. It's just not happening.
Why? Please answer why, Willie.
They just don't. There's a different breed of kids, man. They ain't tough like we were.
Dang. I mean, my problem is as I'm going to watch all these teams play, I'm just amazed that if they feel robotic, they feel like they need you guys to talk to them in order to work them through a possession, and I don't understand
it. It's too much babysitting going on nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
Too much babysitting, and we didn't. It wasn't no babysitting with us. It was like when you had downs at Callahan, you almost had to fight for your down because the old dude would just pull up in the truck and try to take your down.
Yes, sir.
But when the old guy took your down, we weren't pulling out no pistol either.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? These young dudes now, it's like when you push them to compete, they just shut down.
Wow. Man, so
they don't deal with adversity very well, this younger generation of kids.
So we talking about obviously the problem. So is there anything that you're finding that's kind of helping and working because both your high school team is very successful and your AAU program is very successful. So, what are you finding that helps? And I know obviously it don't help with everybody, but you know what I mean. What's helping with the guys that you're seeing them change? Obviously, having 146 kids going to school, you done found a way to break through.
From a high school standpoint, we just
Pac Jam, this be you,
Yeah.
man. This be you.
I'm better now though.
But Willie driving, so he got an excuse. You be at a standard location and still be going off and on.
Right.
So Pac Jam, I'm gonna see if Willie I removed him, see if he can get himself together. I put him back in. But we talking about AAU. I think we discussed that it's another AAU sensation that it's funny. You can follow these kids and feel like you know them. They on YouTube so much. You got Jalen Green projected 4th pick of the 2021 draft. That has decided to forego college and go straight to the G League. Now, that's the new option. I think it's awesome. But let me throw out there, my dog LeVar Ball started all this. That's who.
Right, and he did. And the thing about it was,
all this.
LeVar Ball started that, and LeVar Ball just couldn't get the guys behind him to fund his league.
Yep.
Because he was pretty much blackballed by the NBA as a guy with no credibility, and they pretty much deboed him out of the way is what the NBA did.
Right.
And but what's happening is these kids realize I can go play that 1 year in the G League and I can start getting my money right. I can get these endorsement deals. I can start the very thing that I can't get in that 1 year with Duke because y'all gonna say I'm breaking NCAA rules. I can go ahead and go over here and get those same things. And at the same time, I get to play against some grown men.
Absolutely.
I get to sharpen my tools, against some sharp tools. So it's a win-win situation.
All right, we got you back.
We got Willie back.
I'm back in the house. I'm situated now.
That's what's up. But as Kevin was asking earlier, was that you having success? What helps you have success with the kids that you have right now?
Well, number one, I think we've done such a good job, man, because we really focused on development because it's very difficult for us at times. Well, I shouldn't even say it's very difficult because the system that we've implemented since I started coaching travel ball in 2006, word of mouth travels very fast for us and throughout the state. And parents just kind of gravitate to it. We don't even have to really sell the program. Other parents speak for us because of the body of work that we've done on and off the court. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of high academic kids. We have kids that are professionals right now that are make 6-figure salaries.
Wow.
So every year, man, I get calls from parents that are just like, hey, we talked to this parent. They speak highly of your organization. We'd love to be a part of it because it's just such a brotherhood that we created with this organization. I was just talking to one of our former guys, Marcus Taylor, who's at Ferris State on a football scholarship. He was one of the point guards for Oak Ridge when they won state championship about 4 years ago.
Right.
He said, Coach, that was the brotherhood. He said that was the best experience I've ever had with travel ball because it wasn't basketball. It was the brotherhood. And he played for some of these other organizations now. He was just like, it was just the brotherhood, man. He was like, those were lifelong memories. Right. And he will never forget those times. When you go into places like Vegas, you're going to Dallas, and you're taking these guys to places like Dave and Buster's, And you not only that, you as a father figure, you're having father conversations with these guys, you know, and you're spending a lot of time with them on weekends, and they're away from their parents, so they look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they see how you do things, and they see how you constantly work with other people's kids. Not only that, you bring your kids to practice, and they see that, and they see the time and effort that you put in behind them. They see, like, when they have $5 and the meal costs 10, they see you pull that extra 5 out, and you're not even asking for any receipt or anything like that. You just want to make sure the kid is eating and having a good meal, getting good rest. You're putting uniforms on their back, and it's just a brotherhood that we create, man. So it's like we don't have to do much to sell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sounds
not
like
everybody operates like that.
Sounds like you guys doing a great job of helping these kids with social skills.
Yes, and we have a lot of conversations too. So in the past, we've seen some kids that have done some posts on social media that might be a turnoff to a college coach. So we quickly nip that in the butt really quick, and we talk to them about, hey, you know, you got to look at everything what you put on social media, because coaches are looking at that, because at the end of the day, when you go to college, it's a job interview. So the college coach is going to offer a scholarship to somebody who thinks can keep him employed. So he got to hire the best person on the market. Because if he just go hire anybody and he start losing, then we already know he's looking for another job.
Right.
Man. So, you know,
go ahead, Will.
No, you know, it's just, man, when you learn from guys like Arthur Jackson and Wayne Rickman and Earl Graham, when you just kind of learn how those guys did things and how they mentored so many, and then you just kind of piggyback off that and you kind of implement some things that you would like to add as well, it's so easy, man. It's not difficult at all.
Right.
It's not difficult at all, because, number one, we always tell these kids, we're not in it for the money. We don't get paid for this.
Right.
This is voluntarily. So when kids and parents see you going so hard like that and you don't get paid for this, there's an even greater respect. Because on weekends I can be home with my family, but I'm on the road with somebody else's child.
Right.
And sometimes it's 40 to 50 kids.
Yeah.
When you're taking multiple teams on the road, you have parents that have shown trust in you to take their kids on the road, and they're not even there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that there comes a bigger responsibility when you do stuff like that. You have to do things right.
Wow.
Because you think about it, that's 50 kids, each kid 2 parents. Look how many people that is that have an influence that can make or break the deal with the next kid in line. Right. Especially if you do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my experience with Q6 was amazing. That's somebody you guys should definitely consider. Right. They go a long way, bro.
Yeah. What there it is, hey, Q6, holla at them. Listen, we're gonna talk about a little NBA. Coach. These Washington Wizards, man, bottom of the barrel, 3-11, man. But if you look at their numbers, as a team, it don't remind you of no bottom of the barrel team. Field goal percentage, 14th in the league. 3-point percentage, 11% in the league. Point scored, Bradley Beal, 3rd in the league. Now, I know that's team stats, but some of these Bradley Beal stats. Total rebound, 24. I'm saying all that to say they 3-11, bottom of the barrel. Obviously, these are all a bunch of offensive stats, so you know the defensive stats are very poor. So let's not even talk about those. Tell me this. I believe Russell Westbrook's superstar career is over. And by that, I mean him being looked at as a superstar. Them days are long gone, man, after this stop. Right, Jam.
Well, I'm going to say this. 2 things that you didn't mention. One, Bradley Beal mentioned after the game the other night, he said, we can't guard a parked car. Okay, Bradley Beal said at the ESPN after the game, he said, we can't guard a parked car. Okay, secondly, the Washington Wizards has suffered more COVID-19 than any other team in the NBA. They literally have suffered more than anybody. Now, speaking on Westbrook, It's just a bad fit, Kevin. It really is. And I still believe after this season, he still will be listed as a superstar. It's a bad fit. He is right now. When he was a salary cap dump, the same place John Wall been at. Come on, it's a bad spot. It really is.
Coach, jump in there.
I just think, man, like Bagdale said, Washington is just not. It's just never been a market for a strong NBA team. Just look at the history when you go back when Chris Webber and some of those guys. It's just not a good market, man. Like I think dudes just there for the go-go and for them South African women, man. Dudes for the party. They for the party, man. Because you think about it, man, like you need in Washington, you gotta bring a guy like Tom Thibodeau, a no-nonsense guy that's gonna bring some blue guys in there and get it done. Just you gotta take like the Miami Heat approach. You gotta have somebody like a Pat Riley come in there and bring his identity in there for Washington to win. Because you're not just gonna score a whole lot of points and beat people in the East. The East has always been known as a defensive conference.
Right.
But they can't guard a parked car. So you can score all day. Russell Westbrook can get his triple doubles all day. They're just gonna be at the bottom of the barrel every time, and you just gonna keep talking about the two dudes all the time.
Now, Pat Jam, speaking of Washington and Bradley Beal, you got some late working news. What is it?
Bradley Beal will be a Laker. Bradley Beal will be a Laker. He'll be a Laker. Bradley Beal will be a Laker before Easter. It won't. I tell you what. It won't be Caldwell Pope. It won't be Trez Harrell. There won't be those two, and it will not be Dennis Schroeder.
They got to be Kuzman then.
Absolutely.
That ain't no even swap though, right there.
We ain't independent. We're not independent for the even swap song. I'm just telling you, he will be a Laker by Easter. And the way it's going right now, they say possibly he will be a Laker in a month.
Nah, I don't see Bradley Beal as a good fit for the Lakers, man.
I don't know why. Bradley Beal, one of the best. Bradley Beal can do two things that everybody can't do. One, he can catch and shoot, and he can put it on the floor. Many guards can't do that. He was a catch and shoot at University of Florida. You didn't even know he could put it on the floor because he was catching and shooting at Florida. When John Wall got hurt, it's when America found out that he could put it on the floor. The last 2 years John Wall been out, he's been putting it on the floor. Prior to John Wall getting injured, he was only catching and shooting because John Wall was dominating the basketball.
Hey, I think the Lakers, that was a great pickup for Rondo, with your boy, was Strohmeyer.
Right.
I think that was a great pickup because he's younger and he plays similar, but he has more scoring ability.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the King gonna dominate that ball when it's playoff time. The King resting right now. And the King don't need no more. He got his role guys in place. You know, like the King, he like guys that gonna space the floor and keep.
I'm gonna help you out right here. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Bradley Beal is one of King James' favorite people in the NBA. They have a rapport with each other.
All right, listen. We're gonna move on from that because we gotta get through two more topics. Doc River, I got him as early coach of the year right now, baby. Way too early coach of the year, Doc River.
I agree with that because I can't say my guy because of the success of coaching the Lakers, he's not going to get no coach of the year because they're going to say who he has over there. So I would say Doc Rivers. I would. Outside of the Lakers, I would say Doc Rivers.
Coach.
I like Tom Thibodeau, man. I like guys like that, man. It just kind of ain't got nothing, and you get those guys playing hard and working. Although everybody, they look at coaching as wins and losses, they don't look at how you change the identity of the program and things like that. I think New York still needs a few more pieces, but I go with Doc right now.
Okay. And then finally, this is gonna spark up another conversation. The Nets trying to make more moves, y'all. When you look at their roster, why they so intent on making all these moves, man? Listen, they got Spencer Dinwiddie, obviously Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, James Harden, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Tyler Johnson, DeAndre Jordan, man, and a shooter Landry Shamet. Please, y'all tell me how you got three of the best players in the game and you still searching for more talent. To me, that's an indictment on KD, y'all. Y'all can't come to me talking about KD, one of the best that ever did it, and he got two monsters with him, and y'all still looking for more help. Y'all gonna have to straighten me on that. Right, Jam?
Well, the thing, you know what? And all those names he said, Willie, the one name he never said was defense. And that's what none of those guys play that you just named. And that's why LeBron James is still the best player in the NBA, because LeBron James and LeBron James teams play defense. Okay? And they've been you gave up 147 points to the worst offensive team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's defense. You ain't playing none. And that's the problem. KD ain't playing no defense. Kyrie has never played defense. And neither is James Harden. You know, so now they're trying to go out and find defensive players. But you're right, that's an indictment on KD.
Come on, man.
He's the best player in the NBA. You're right.
I ain't trying to hear that, bro.
He's not, but you won't hear that from me.
Coach, jump in there.
Man, for the Brooklyn Nets, when I first saw the Kyrie Irving KD move, I said, okay, they gotta make some room to get some guys, some blue guys like some a Capella or Andre Drummond. They got to get some forwards like that to do the dirty work, because they're gonna take up most of the shots. So they need some guys on the interior to do that. And I thought they were a little slim on that. Then they got rid of the one guard and sent him to Indiana, and now he's out for the year. I think they kind of knew that already. So that's why they got rid of him and tried to get something for him. I just don't see them doing a whole lot, man, because they're just trying to outscore you. And like Pat just said, they don't play any defense. It's just too many guys that need so many shots with Durant, Kyrie, and then you bring dribbles over there. You know, man, it's just the dribble brothers, like Barker said, the dribble brothers, you got them over there, man. I just don't see it happening.
Listen again, man. Don't y'all ever come to me hollering about no KD,
Right?
Because James done already proven he could do it by himself. He done did it by himself for 5-6 seasons. Them two right there still have yet to do anything by themselves. So I hear you talk about the dribble brother, but them two right there got to prove to me that they who y'all trying to tell that they supposed to be. But them looking for more players, that's out for me, man. It's very out for me. Y'all still looking for 3-4 more moves? That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
AK and Pac-Man, I think this, like, you look at, like, Golden State, who built their team from the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those guys, Mark Jackson started all that stuff, and they want to give Steve Kerr all the credit. However, Steve Kerr, you know, put some little tweaks in the system, but those guys play team ball. They're system guys. They're guys that share the willing passers. They're willing passers. There's a difference. They got their superstars in Golden State, but they're willing passers. And Brooklyn, they don't have willing passers. Those guys are willing shooters. It ain't a team-oriented thing with them. It's all individual stuff. And somebody always complaining about something. Kyrie always complaining about something. James complaining about something. KD getting his feeling. Like this, you know, Golden State, you don't hear that. Them dudes just play. They just play. You got the group, got Draymond, and then Golden State bringing in these little role players that know their role. That's why they've been successful. Brooklyn won't have that because those guys, nobody's going to take it back. I don't care. When the game on the round, one of them three dudes want to take that shot. Somebody's going to be mad. They want to take that shot. One of them two other two dudes.
Come on, man. Let's not kid ourselves. Kyrie taking that last shot.
When they dribble, step back between the legs.
Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate you stopping through with us, man. We gonna shut this one down. Crack, yeah. Appreciate you coming to holler at us.
Thank you, bro. No problem. Glad to get a chance to talk up with Mr. Willie, man.
No problem. Love y'all.
Absolutely.
Love you. You pop to the game, man.
You know it. You know it.
That's the guy, man.
Yes, sir. Magic. Magic. You know when he came in there, didn't you?
Hey, don't take me back, boy. You take me back, boy. Hey. Conversation with me, boy. All day long.
Hey, we love you. We love you, man.
Yeah, you, bro. All right.
All right. Y'all take care of me, man.
All right. Man, well, we sure appreciate y'all hollering at us, stopping through, pulling up, Pack Jam in the building. Lou, we see you dribble. You know,
we see you, Lou.
Hey, Willie made a comment, Pack Jam. He said we ain't know nobody that dribble. Yes, we did. And he was on tonight. Pack Jam was the dribble master, baby. He was the dribble master, baby.
Lil John dribble more than me.
Hey. Hey, that's because he couldn't get around you.
Oh, okay.
We just sit there and look at him. He keep dribbling, going the same place, thinking he about to get around you. It ain't gonna never
right.
But yeah, man. So we appreciate y'all, Pack. You dropped nuggets and knowledge with us. So we looking Pack Jam. Pack Jam say, look no further. Bradley Beal will be a Laker. He already let y'all know Deshaun Watson was out of there. And any other nuggets you got to drop on this pack?
Hey, man, tune in to the Senior Bowl tomorrow, man. You got this is one of the largest Senior Bowls ever. You got over 200 guys in the Senior Bowl, man. This is the largest one ever, man. It's going to be interesting, man. A lot of talent down there. So tune in tomorrow, man.
Well, Mac Jones done already pulled my ankle hurt, so he ain't suiting up. I saw that.
Well, he did what he's supposed to do during the week.
Okay.
Show him I can drop dimes.
Okay.
He
sure was old for trying to get the ball in the trash can. I'm like, y'all don't play that game. I guess that's just an NFL thing, man. Where the quarterbacks throw it in the trash can because all them jokers was missing. I ain't seen one get in the trash can. But when they get in the league, they're gonna learn how to do it because that's all them quarterbacks. That's part of they warming up and stuff like that is throwing the trash can. So I was really amazed. Say, man, not one of them hitting it. It was really shocking to be Pac Jam because obviously being able to play in the NFL and seeing that stuff a lot, I just assumed everybody was doing it.
Nah.
Evidently not, man, because they were awful. Well, Pac Jam, appreciate you stopping through.
No problem.
We love y'all. Come
love y'all, man. Peace, love, and hair grease, man.
Hey, look, try to find Pac Jam, man. Tori Lewis on Facebook, man. And what's your
My Instagram is Tori Too Real, man.
Yeah, he too real.
Too real, man.
You may not want to listen to him for too long because he too real. We'll holler at y'all.
All right. We out of here.